Hi, this is Colleen from CopicShopping.com. I'm going to do a tutorial today about coloring pleats into your dresses and other fabric that you're coloring with your Copics. I'm going to be using Copic markers R81, R85, R83, and R89. And this is a digital stamp that was created by Guy Gondrin for the CMS Sugar and Spice line. It's available at CopicShopping.com. I'm going to start with my lightest color here, R81, and add in where I want the pleats to go. So I want one there. I'm going to follow the lines here. As you can see, this dress has some wide open space in it, which if you don't have direction can make it pretty hard to color. So I'm going to add some at the top. And we're adding this with our lightest color, so if you don't like where it is, you can move it around. Alright. And then we're going to take our medium color, R83 here. We're going to add it to our edges. I'm coloring a little faster than I normally would for the sake of the tutorial. Paper up here a little bit to make sure we're cooking. There we are. And then we're going to take our R85. We're going to do the same thing. You can see those pleats shaping up very nicely. I'm going to take my R83 and start blending backwards and expanding that color out towards the rest of the dress. The idea is going to be to have dark by your pleat and light as you go out. Now I'm going to take my R81 and move the light color out further on each of these. Start blending a little more. And we want those pleats to stay nice and crisp, so we're going to hit them a lot of times. With our dark and medium colors as we blend to make sure we're keeping that color very vibrant in there where the pleats are, where the dark is, because the dark is going to be what separates. Now I'm going to take a really dark color, R89, and I'm just going to come in a little bit here. And over at this end. And this way, and that way. And that's going to give you a real crisp line and a real good idea of exactly where your pleat's going to be. We'll blend it back with the R85. And we're kind of coloring on a curve here in the direction that we want our fabric to kind of swing, because we're making it as if the fabric and the little girl were in motion and being hit by the sun or okay. So we're blending back the R89 into the R85. If your lines look a little darker than you want them to be at the moment, that's okay, because we're going to keep blending. Now we've got our R83. blending those lines out. We're following the direction of the pleat. We're going to come back with our light one, our R81. Make sure we're getting everything blended nice and evenly here. We're starting to close up some of that white space as we blend out. We're going to come back to crisping up that line over here with the R85. Make sure we're keeping that line, that shadowed area, really nice and crisp, because we don't want it to get faded as we blend out. And this is R83 that I'm moving in with. Back with the R81. I'll blend it out. I'm going to leave a little bit of white here so you can see the highlight in the dress, and a little bit over there. And I'm going to leave a little right here. Then I'm going to start to come into these really white areas. Leave a little highlight on either side of this pleat. And I'm going to come down from the top. Into it. And now I'm just going to shade this like I normally would. I'm going to take my my R83 here. Create a little shadow. And a little going up. Just maybe a little where she's got shadow from her clothes. And we're going to blend it into the R81. And really kind of make sure we're following that curve and following the way the dress is moving. And that is, we're basically done, but I'm going to come in with my R89 one more time. And I'm going to darken up each one of these pleat lines. I'm going to take my R85 and blend it out so we don't have a big, thick line sitting there. We can just go ahead and extend these up and make the color a little more vibrant. And the R83. a little into there. Just shadow that a little more up here. And I'm going to finally take the R81 and pull that down into these spaces. Just clean up some of the lines there. If you didn't like using the white of your paper for the highlight, you could color all the way with the R81 and then use the colorless blender to make a highlight. I find that just using the white looks a little bit crisper and a little bit neater. Now what we're going to do here is just finish up the bottom of her dress. We're going to take colors BG 13, 15, and 18. And we're going to just go ahead with our lightest color here, BG13. And we're going to come in here and start to color under here. This pleating works with pretty much any color combination. And I'm actually going to leave a highlight spot right there. Our medium color here, BG15, and we're going to come in at the ends and this and all around. And then take our BG18, which is our darkest of these colors. Come in here and work some shadows. We're going to blend back our BG15. And take our 13 and kind of blend into that. Now I want to leave a highlight spot there, but I don't want it that white, so I'm going to take BG11 and kind of finish that and smooth that out. And now for her bow, we can do the same thing. We can take our R81 in here and we can make some pleat lines, 2 on each side. Take our R85. We're going to do obviously a lot less blending because it's a smaller area. R89. Then R85 to blend. Back to R81. And we can add a little bit more definition with the R85 in here, just a little bit more. Take R83 and work in there a little bit more too. And finish it up with the R81. So as you can see, the sky's the limit, and that is how you would create pleated highlighting in your coloring. Thanks.